What is going on, guys? It is your boy, the Kryptik Tcg, back at it again with another deck profile. And today we're going to be doing my Human Blink deck profile. It's kind of designed as a mid-range card draw way of playing humans instead of the more conventional aggro, destroy your opponent as fast as possible. So without further ado, like and subscribe, and let's get right into the video. So first off, we start with 3 copies of Fervent Incantation. If you don't know what it does, basically it doubles your humans enter the island effects at its base, and then it has the added value of if you attack with 5 or more humans, you abolish all of them and then return them back to the island, basically triggering all of their enter the island effects again. So if you do end up getting that second trigger off, you're most likely winning the game, as your humans will enter disengaged, so they'll be able to block for the next turn, and you're getting most likely a bunch of cards in your hand. So let's go over our Blink engine first. First, we have 2 copies of Kanzu Embodied Informant. As I was just informed on the Discord, her short time 3 ability does not trigger enter the island effects of your own citizens, but she is still a very valuable card. With Fervent Incantation, if you're able to drop 6 mana on this combo, you're getting a 10/10 and you're drawing 4 cards. So if the game is stable and you're able to drop that 4 cards for the price of maybe 1, is just so much value, and your opponent will probably not be able to catch up. Next, we have 3 copies of Orpheus. Orpheus is just very good for pushing through damage, getting past your opponent's good blockers. Very good card. Next card is Theodore, very good for blinking, enters, draws a card, 2 mana, very good card. Next we have my personal favorite from Wicked Prophecy. We have Manute. When he enters, if you have destroyed an 11-year card this turn, which most likely you have considering the 1-drops we're playing, you can return 2 citizens with a total soul cost of 4 or less to their owner's hand. If you drop this turn 3 and your opponent's played 1 or 2 setup creatures so far, the amount of pressure you get and the amount of tempo that you put on your opponent is crazy, and you're most likely just going to run away with the game. And he also gives you the option to counter spells, which something humans don't really have access to. And the last card for our Blink package is Svend. Svend, pretty much you're going to want to play Svend when he can draw you a card. He also has Sidestep, very good for getting through damage, and very good for blinking. Next, for our 1-drop package, we have 3 copies of Wyland. Nothing much to explain here. 2 copies of Timmy. 2 copies of Flanagan, and then 1 copy of Wyland, Cleo, and Ruishi. Just to round out, this deck does have a fast mode if you do draw these 1-drops early in the game, so you can compete with those aggro decks and put some pressure on your opponent. So those are our 1-drop packages. Next we have our Charlie package. So we have our Blink package, our Rush package, and we also have our package centered around Charlie, People's Champion. Mostly her last ability, short time 3, human citizens with a total soul cost of 3 or less, cost 1 mana to activate. So which citizens are we trying to target with that? Really, we're trying to go for Astrid. Astrid has Eager, and her typical soul cost is white, 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 which is a very hard color restriction, and I haven't seen very many people play this card, but if you can reduce her cost to 1, she becomes very powerful. She can gain Ravenous if you discard a card, and she taxes the 11-year row. The next card we're targeting is Camilla, which if you're able to pull off the Charlie into Camilla for 1 mana, you're in a very good spot and you're set up very well for the rest of the game. Next we have 1 copy of Gwen and 1 copy of Mokosh. Just some good value cards, kind of off meta, but they can do damage in their own way. Next we have our utility spells. So we have 2 copies of Wicked Visions, kind of to prevent board wipes or anything, any citizens entering the island that can try to destroy your citizens, such as Akami and the Pisceans, or Iraza's board wipe as a Piscean as well. Very good card. Then we have 2 copies of Forbidden Rendezvous for pushing through damage, drawing a card, and it does fix as well. If you don't feel like playing it, just put it in your soul row. Taps for both a blue and a white. Next we have 2 copies of Trivialize. Kind of acts as a removal spell in itself. Your opponent thinks you're just trying to push through damage. It blocks Flanagan or a creature with 4 power, and then you trivialize it. You remove the opponent's creature, and you also you basically trade. So it kind of acts as a removal spell in the deck. And then lastly we have 3 copies of Capital Punishment. Nothing to explain. So lastly we have our 1-drops for the deck, kind of our flex spots. You can switch these cards out for whatever you feel like. I'm not too sold on any of these cards, but I think they are pretty good in their own individual ways. First we have 1 copy of Tiberius. He has Ravenous. Whenever he is blocked, you may draw a card for each citizen blocking him, and if your opponent doesn't block him, he's hitting 2 11-year cards. So very good card from Genesis. And if you have Camilla on the field when you play this, him having Eager is insane. Next we have Orpheus, a new card from Wicked Prophecy, also very powerful. Value human card. When he attacks, you may return target citizen with the total soul cost less than or equal to the number of creatures attacked this way to the bottom of their owner's deck. So if you attack with Orpheus, you can return a 1 cost that your opponent controls to the bottom of their deck. If you'd attacked with Orpheus and Tiberius this turn, you can return a 2 cost, and so on and so forth. Next we have 1 copy of Eros. Just a very annoying card to deal with. You're constantly dealing damage to your opponent's 11-year row, and being able to bounce Eros to your hand and then bounce your opponent's threat is very powerful. Next we have Profane Ritual. If you draw it early game, you can just put it in your soul. If not, this can be a game winner. All of your citizens gaining Eager and Sidestep is very, very powerful and can easily close out a game. Next we have Impose Withdrawal. Return target citizen to its owner's hand, as simple as that. If anything, I'd take out a couple of these utility cards and put in either 1 or 2 more copies of Impose Withdrawal. And then rounding out the deck, we have 1 copy of Charlie's Ascendancy, simply to go along with our Charlie package. Just a good card. +6/+6, gain Sidestep and draw a card. Very solid. To push damage through can also be removal, and it also replaces itself. So with that, that's going to be the whole deck profile. Thanks for watching. Let me know what you think, and if you enjoy this kind of mid-range style of humans instead of the aggro, let me know. Also let me know of any questions or things that you'd change from the deck. Thanks for watching, and hope you all have a great day.